Hey, what's up? It's Comic 95, the Savior. Please excuse me, I just got off work. I'm at home right now. And yeah, I just want to kind of I don't know, talk. This is a journal video, as you can tell. Please excuse me, I'm eating dinner. I love yakitori. They just recently opened up a nicer grocery store. I'm not far from our place, so I've been buying it from there. And I have some, they're not Eckrich sausage, some Polish sausages, whatever you want to call it, Johnsonville. Super glad they sell them there because I haven't been able to find them in basically like a year, or almost a year at least. So, anyway, I kind of just wanted to I don't know, ask for advice about one of my friends slash coworker. So, I hate, again, excuse me, I'm gonna be ghetto. I'm talking about eating, trying to multitask. I hate that as an American, I feel like I can't talk on a lot of things because I instantly seem cocky if I give my 2 cents on the topic. Why is the brightness so high? Okay, that's better. So, what I'm asking for advice on, one of my coworkers, she's from another country, which I will not say, but her accent, I don't know if it's her accent or her personality. I honestly think it's a mixture of the two because I've met other people from this country that don't have that problem, in my opinion. But she comes off as really, really rude. Like, even to me. And I feel really bad because when I go out with her, like to eat and stuff, and she's talking to Japanese staff, she has like the typical, I'm sorry guys, having a real talk conversation, stereotypical ghetto black girl type attitude. Yes, she's a black woman. And so one part of me wants to correct it and be like, hey, like you're coming off as kind of rude, and I'm pretty sure you don't mean to, but even I would take it that way. I feel like by saying it, it makes me seem like a dick. It's like, oh, you think that, you talk better English, whatever, speak better English because you're American. And I also don't want her to feel like I'm trying to control her. But to be honest, it makes me not want to hang out with her because I don't want to look like I'm rude like her. And it doesn't help that she makes no effort to speak Japanese either. She just freely speaks English. Seldom does she use Japanese. She's been here way longer than me too, which is kind of sad. Like, she can't even read or write anything. So, and I'm not trying to get into that part. That's her own personal issue. But my issue is, because we're not legitimate friends, she's a work friend, I don't feel like it's my place to even try to give friendly advice. So, I don't know. What would you do? Because one part of me wants to nicely talk to her and say, hey, look, I don't mean it in this kind of way. I'm just trying to help you. The other part is like, girl, save your breath. It's going to hurt her feelings. She's going to be upset. She's going to think that you're, whatever. Because she's already kind of expressed her feelings towards Americans. Despite the fact that she intends to become one. But Okay, sorry about that. So, I am done eating, mostly. Kind of need a snack. But yeah, like, I just feel so weird, because, like, one part of me, I want to just be like, hey, girl, like, no, you don't mean it. You kind of need to, like, watch the way that you talk, because you sound like you have, you know, a nasty attitude. And it looks really bad, because, again, stereotypical, angry, ghetto, black woman. And just being a foreigner in general, we're stereotyped as being, as, you know, being, I don't know, not polite, so to speak. So, and then, like, the other thing that I kind of hate too, she's gonna watch this video and, like, never talk to me again. But, and, you know, that's whatever, because I already know that she's been, like, spying on me on Instagram, because she pretty much just openly said it when we first met. Like, she admitted to, and that's why I actually made my account private, you guys, in case you don't know. So if you're watching, hey, girl, yep, I did that because of you. She always goes around talking about how she doesn't, you know, give a F about anything. And it's like, that's not a good attitude to have towards everything. It's one thing to say you don't care about what people have to say about you. But even then, like, to a certain degree, critique and criticism are totally different from someone just hating on you. And what good does it do to stay in a foreign country if you're not going to try to assimilate? You don't want to respect the rules, the culture, anything else. There's some things where you can be like, eh. For example, you know, being real hush-hush and secretive about abuse. But when it comes to things like being very opinionated and whatnot, that's something that you can definitely compromise and learn how to be less opinionated. I've personally had to work on that. I give you guys my opinion and my facts here on YouTube. But if I'm talking to my Japanese friends, I know better, even my boyfriend, than to just, you know, flat out say exactly what's on my mind, because it comes off as though you're attacking them. It's just not the way that they're used to communicating. They don't normally debate. Negotiating isn't normally done in that kind of way. Like, everything's just so different here. So, and we've already, like, had conversations about that, and I know that we disagree. We don't see eye to eye. So, I don't know. One part of me wants to help her. The other part of me just kind of wants to help her because, I mean, it benefits me. Because, to be honest, like, I kind of hate going places with her because I like her company. I like hanging out with her. But it's like, why not at least attempt to pretend like you're not a tourist? Like, you've been here for almost 10 years now. Like, come on. So, and then off of her, my other issue. At work, I shouldn't be saying this, but I really, really hate the fact that I feel like our events that we have at my job are not planned professionally, and that there's too much pressure put on teachers to come up with stuff at the last minute without much warning. Now, my opinion and my experience being a student in the US, our events were much further spread out, and you knew about them much further in advance, and you had ample time to plan and prepare for them. I feel like here, everything's thrown together at the last minute. You're expected to figure it out and figure out how to rearrange your schedule to make time for it. Like, I feel like there's so much pressure getting ready for graduation for my kids. I've never done any graduation before. So this is all new to me. I didn't even personally have a kindergarten graduation. So, I kind of don't know what exactly I want my kids to do. I want them to do a dance for their performance, because that's the thing. It's like a performance. They call it YEP, which stands for Year in Performance. Okay, so excuse me. Anyway, they call it YEP. You have to decide when to do some type of like skit, some sort of play, fashion show, dance, song, whatever. I'm gonna have them do a dance since my kids are pretty shy. I'm afraid of them speaking, and plus there's so many of them. There's like 20. We only have about 5 to 7 minutes. There's no way they're all going to be able to speak within that time. And again, there's too much, possibilities of someone not showing up, and I would just rather there be some sort of dance routine. So I need to work on that. But yeah, I wish that the school was more organized. And to be honest, I think they're trying too hard to make everything elaborate. I feel like they should just do the exact same routine each year. And really, they should just do a regular graduation by itself instead of trying to make this huge extravaganza, big bang type show. It's just too much going on. So that's a whole nother story. I'll get into that maybe later as that time gets closer. In the meantime, though, yeah, I don't know what to do about this girl. And she's not the only one. I feel like my other foreign friends too. This is why I say I don't like hanging out with foreigners. It's not because I feel like I'm the elite, I'm better than them type thing. But I find that they're just so out of touch. Because going back to her, even when she talks about stuff, it seriously makes me cringe and I just have to be quiet. She went to a wedding recently. And so when I was asking her, oh, do you plan to buy another outfit or whatever? And I don't even know what her clothing looks like, her wardrobe at home. She tells me no, and tells me that she plans to wear this black dress that she has, and insists that it's normal to wear black to a wedding, and that they wear it for graduations. And I was just like, are you sure? Pretty sure they don't. But I was like, I ain't finna argue. This chick almost old enough to be my mama. I'm gonna just be quiet. But it's if you don't know something, listen to what other people have to say. I feel like she's really quick to knock down anything that I say or someone else because she's been in Japan for longer and she's older. But she's a lot more ignorant, just being real. So, and then even for myself, I've had to learn since I've been here, not necessarily from people that have been here for a shorter amount of time, more so from those that have been here longer than me, but, excuse me, but it just kills me. So little things like that. We were in a restaurant the other day and they insist that they can't be kicked out because they're paying customers. And I'm like, shh, in Japan, that's not true. If you've been in the restaurant for a minute after your food is done, they can ask you to leave, even if they're still open. They're not there for you to socialize and solicit whatever, sit there, loiter around. It's wrong, in my opinion, especially if the place is not busy, because I understand if they're busy and you're taking up a table. But if they're not, I don't agree with that. I feel like it looks bad in the company, but it's common practice here. I've even been out with Japanese people, both older and younger, and they've done the same thing. Now, in this case, we were at a restaurant that was busy, and they were just adamant, no, they can't do that. And I'm like, y'all, I just went out to eat twice with 2 different Japanese people, not black people like you all, and they did the exact same thing. The staff asked us to go since we were done with our food. They kind of walk around a little bit. They start taking your dishes. They keep looking, checking in on you. They refill your water, and then eventually they get to the point okay, time to go. We're tired of hearing you talk. Leave, please. So whether or not they do this more with foreigners, with foreigners versus Japanese, I cannot say. I'm pretty sure they do it more with us foreigners, but that's a whole nother story. But I just hate stuff like that. So of course, when I'm saying that, she's like, really? Oh no, they can't do that. And so I'm just like, girl, you've been here for almost 10 years. How do you not know this? And so I just feel even other small things, she doesn't recognize when people are doing prejudice stuff, which I feel is kind of a good thing. I kind of miss my blissful ignorance that I had back in Tokyo. But yeah, she's completely clueless when she's being a nuisance to other people. I've been on the train with her and she'll just, be calling my name from across the way because I'm standing and, she likes to sit. And so I'm like, girl, you're yelling for me. You're irritating people. And so sure enough, the people around her start to get up and move. She ain't paying no mind to it. As she says, I give 0 Fs. So she gonna hate me because I sound like a two-faced bitch, which I'm sorry, but again, I mean this in the nicest way possible. I'm not close enough to her where I can just say girl, look. So it's just really hard for me because I want to tell her the things that she's wrong about or the things that I think she's wrong about. But again, she's older than me, from a different country, And, we've clashed on opinions and stuff before, so I don't want to seem like I'm trying to tell her what to do, or I'm controlling, or I'm Miss Perfect, or I'm right about everything, because I'm not. I know I'm not. I don't know everything about Japan. I'm still learning, still growing, still learning language, still learning how to read. There's so much stuff that I do not know. I'm not saying that I'm a know-it-all, but I do like to share and help people out when I do know more than they clearly do. And so, like, for her, even when she was like showing me, I'm getting off subject, going back, even when she was showing me the pictures from the wedding, I'm like, do you not realize you're the only person dressed like you're going to a funeral, whereas the rest of them are wearing nice, more bright, appropriate colors? Like, I wouldn't even wear black to a wedding in the US. So, I don't even know what to say. Excuse me. So, it's just hard for me. I want to be her friend. God, this is irritating me. I want to be her friend. I want to hang out with her. But I feel like I can never legitimately be friends with her, because I feel like I'll never get to the point where I would feel comfortable enough with giving her advice or telling her what I think about stuff, because I feel like it's always going to come off as though I'm a jerk because I'm an American. I think I'm perfect. I'm better than you, etc. And again, like, this isn't just in my mind. We've kind of talked about this before, where she feels like, US people have this type of cockiness, feel like they're better than people type attitude. But we're not going to get there. I can admit that I am opinionated, but I feel like at least when I do give my opinions, they're normally kind of right. They're backed up by some type of facts. And not just me saying, hey, this is what I did, so it's right. But more so, this is what I did, this is what I read, this is what I was told. For her, it's like, oh, I did this one place, or I saw this one person do it, so apparently it's okay. Or I've never seen this happen, so it's okay. And it's like, maybe you just didn't understand what was going on. Maybe you just didn't see what happened, but that's not how you're supposed to do stuff. So I feel like giving up. Like, it's so hard for me. Because again, like, I would really want to be her friend. I just hate that it's like, why can't you just assimilate just a little bit? Like, we even got into like a whole argument. Not a real argument, but like a disagreement. We had dinner together. And I mentioned this in another video. We disagreed about how you should raise your children. And you guys might disagree with me on this too, which is cool. But just hear me out. I'm going to make a long story short. I was saying that you should raise your children based off of where you are and not where you think they want to go. For example, most people that are born and raised in Japan tend to stay in Japan. Now that kind of changes for mixed kids. Excuse me. And the reason that I believe is so is because their parents, especially, if, well, this is the case, one of their parents happens to be European, American, etc., they've been brought up, raised with this international mindset. And when I say that, I don't mean that in a good way, necessarily. I mean it as in I do things the foreign way. I was taught to do things this way. I was taught to see myself this way. And then they don't really know how to blend in and assimilate in Japan. They spent all their lives going to a foreign school. They use mostly English. Yeah, they're sure they're learning Japanese, but they haven't had as much opportunity to use it, fluently, normally, like a regular, normal Japanese person does, whatever. For example, schools in Japan teach you to think for the group, the greater good, not be so self-centered, not be all about me. In the US, not just school, but our life, work, etc., it values independence, being right, being strong, being the outspoken one. In Japan, being that kind of person makes you like a douchebag. And so, we disagreed on it. And they're like, oh, well, what if they want to go abroad? What if they want to do whatever? And then same thing as far as, just attending an international school, but being around people that look like you. And so for me, it's like, why try to paint this fake, unrealistic picture for your children, especially if you're living in Japan and not intending to go back to your home country? You're going to be the minority. Why try to make it seem like it's something that it's not by plastering only black people or only white people, making sure your child only gets this image, is surrounded by people that speak English? To me, you're ostracizing them more. You're making more of a deal of the fact you're separating them more. You're making their foreignness more, whatever, by doing that. You're drawing more attention to that. So I just don't understand that. And so, of course, we disagreed. We didn't see eye to eye. So again, like for her, she was like, well, what if they want to go to, the US or whatever? And it's like, yeah, what if? If they want to go to another country, they can study and learn that. But look at how weird, embarrassing, and shameful it is if the country that you're from, born and raised in, you don't think the same as them, you can't understand them fully, because you spent all of your life going to a foreign school, you spent all of your life only learning Japanese at home, barely using it when you go out. I can't explain it. And then I feel like by going to international school, it kind of further, whatever, reinforces that line, that whatever, where it's like, oh, foreigners can't understand normal Japanese, so you can't go to a normal school. You can't go to a normal high school. You can't go to a normal kindergarten. You need this type of education. You need to have this type of experience. So I don't know what exactly I plan to do with my own children, but I did say those type of things make me, think. I know my kids will not go to international school up until high school, but I do think that I might consider doing it up until they get to, up until kindergarten, maybe from, baby to kindergarten. I think I might be okay with doing that. But again, like, I'm not 100% sure. I would kind of like them to have a balanced experience. And to be honest, if anything, as I was saying, like, I can teach my kids how to act American. If it's another video at home, I cannot teach them how to be Japanese because I am not Japanese and their father will be at work all day. Sure, they'll have time with grandma and grandpa, but I don't plan on them being involved with them every single day either. I would love it if they are, and hey, I hope they can be, but so my point is, yeah, like, we don't see that the same way. And for her, it's like, why do I have to lose my culture just because I'm living somewhere else type thing? And it's like, there's a difference between losing your culture, not being yourself, being fake and phony, and just being ignorant and, full of yourself. And that's a part of being a foreigner too, like having this idea that the world needs to revolve around you and basically accommodate you and your culture instead of you accommodating theirs and assimilating based off of the place that you are in. So I can get into that much further, deeper, longer, whatever. Yes, that's what she said. And I'm also sorry that I explained that horribly. But long story short, we don't agree on some topics, and that's definitely one of them. You might not agree either, but again, this is how I see it. Why raise your child for a place that you want them to go to, or that you think they're going to want to go to? You can teach them about how people in that place think. You can show them what your country and what your culture is like at home. But I do not want my child to be raised with this mindset and then for them to grow up and become adults and not be able to, operate like a normal Japanese person because all their lives they've been raised like an American. If I'm living in the US with my children, then sure, they're going to be raised like Americans. I have nothing against that. But if I'm living in Japan like how I plan to, I'm not going to do that because I'm setting my kid up for a disaster, for failure. I don't agree with everything as far as it goes in Japan, but I will say that I honestly think the whole little group mindset is also somewhat beneficial in the US. I feel like Americans, not just Americans, but I'm speaking from my own country because that's where I'm from. Other countries have this problem too. They're very self-centered, shallow, full of themselves. They have to be right. They have to be the leader. They have to, get things their way. I feel like we can learn some things from Japan. I feel like we could both learn some things from each other. So I have no problem with them learning about both. But again, like, there's some things that just cannot be taught. There's some manners, some mannerisms, some cultural knowledge, some history that they will learn much better by being in a, regular public school or a Japanese private school versus being surrounded by foreigners where my mixed kid is a part of the school's selling point where they're like, oh, great, we have a half black kid. Let's add that to our percentage of, non-Japanese students to attract more parents, bring in more yen. So I don't want to do that. And even in the US, I'm going to lose my black card, guys. I don't care. I'm just going to say it like it is. I even feel this way about dolls and toys. My parents tried to make it where all of my toys, especially my mom in particular, my dad didn't care, were basically black dolls. And I understood the concept. They were afraid of me wanting to be white, which of course I did, like I think any black child does at one point in their lives, because that's all you see. You see it as being beautiful, and you're not even thinking that deep, but you've been conditioned this way, where you realize, oh, everyone looks like this, why do I look like that? So I got what they were trying to do, but at the same time, it's like it's painting an unrealistic picture. I am a minority, I am a black woman, and most people are white. That's just facts. Why try to fight it? I feel the same way about people wanting their kids to go to a school or live in a neighborhood where everyone looks like them, or a lot of people do, because it's like, okay, what's going to happen once they leave that neighborhood, once they leave that school? Culture shock. That's what happened to me. I grew up going to private school. I used to go to church like 3-4 times a week. And I remember hearing kids curse when I got, back to public school in 4th grade. I hadn't been in public school since I was a 1st grader. I spent second and third grade going to private school, homeschool, etc. And so, the last time I was in school, we were just little kids. People weren't really talking bad, a little bit of nasty stuff, but nothing major. So I was just like, whoa, people are saying these bad words. What's a pussy? Like, I didn't know any of that stuff. I didn't listen to rap music. It wasn't allowed inside my house. Total culture shock. One part of me was grateful for how I was raised at home, but the other part was like, why try to hide and pretend like these bad things don't exist? Why try to hide and pretend like everyone is just like me? Why make everything black, 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 black? Holy, holy, Christian, Christian, Jesus Christ. I get it, but at the same time, like I said, it's an unrealistic picture. You need to understand there are bad people. There are people that don't believe in God. There are people that, are going to be into drugs and gangs and all kind of different stuff that I was not exposed to. I'm not saying, my parents got to, take out a crack pipe in front of me or something. But you know what I mean? Like, I hate, being overprotective, where it gets to the point where you're not showing them what the real world is like. And then it's like, once you do finally see it, it's like, whoa, like I've never seen this before. And then I feel like it makes you more curious and more likely to do, or get into those bad things. So, good enough subject. Long story short, I don't agree with some things this chick does. And because we're not super close, I don't feel comfortable with telling her my 2 cents on that. But at the same time, I do kind of feel guilty for not telling her because I know that I feel like I'm seeing something, and by me not saying something, I'm just as guilty as if I were to have said it and hurt her feelings, if that makes any sense. So again, this isn't me trying to push my whatever beliefs on her, but more so to say, girl, we're in Japan. A lot of the times the way you talk to people sounds really rude. It would be nice if you would attempt to use some Japanese, or if you don't know, you don't have to talk. Just point, when you're ordering, just little stuff like that. Like, again, I guess it's just a personal preference. I need to calm myself down. This is my little vent session, you guys, so excuse me. You don't have to agree with me. I'm telling you how I feel. So, what's your opinion? Would you tell her, pull her to the side, talk to her nicely and try to explain it? She's probably not the kind of person I can do that with, but I'll try. Or do you think I should just keep my mouth shut, let her do her, I do me? She's grown, she's, got 10 years on me. I should mind my own business, let her do her own thing, let her believe what she wants, think what she wants. But, and I kind of feel like, I know I'm playing devil's advocate here, going back and forth and contradicting myself, but it's like a lost cause. Because, even with the, wedding that she recently went to, it's like, come on, girl, there ain't no way you read that inside no damn book. You do not wear black to nobody's funeral. I don't think, not funeral, that's where you wear it. You don't wear black to anyone's wedding. I don't think anywhere in the world. It just looks bad. And so when she was showing me the pictures, and she's a tall girl, it's like, you look like a grim reaper. It doesn't help, the one tall, dark-skinned girl wearing braids is wearing all black. And then you're going to speak at the wedding. So and then I don't even think she realizes this, which again, I had to keep my mouth shut. I don't think she realized that some of the Japanese people that she talks to aren't really her friends, but it feels more like they're using her. And I don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but I just got the feel that when, she spoke to me about these people, it sounded more like she's the token foreign friend. Like, oh, I know a black girl. Hey, speak at my wedding, even although we never talk to each other pretty much any other time. So I didn't want to say anything because I felt like, it's not my place to tell her who her real friends are and who's not. But at the same time, I also kind of felt like, I feel like I should be saying something. So that part I'm definitely going to leave alone, especially since the wedding is now over with. But that's what I hate, because if she was my real friend, I would just tell her straight up, look, I don't think these people are really friends with you. They're glad they knew a black person. They're like, hey, wedding filler, so to speak. Let's have this, chick talk at our wedding. It'll look really cool. She's going to give her speech in English. Nobody's going to understand her. I know a black person. And then it's like, you came to the wedding looking like a grim reaper. Why? So, it's none of my business. Let me stay out of it. Let me do her own thing. I'll leave that part alone. But what I do want to think about is, should I tell her about her behavior? Like how she talks, attitude, etc. when she's dealing with Japanese people? How it can be taken the wrong way? Or do I just keep my mouth shut and be like, look, Ren, it ain't you. Mind your own business. Nobody's talking to you. So, I'm done. Sorry I went on a tangent. I repeated myself 50 times. But give me your 2 cents. What do you think I should do? So, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like, leave a comment down below, give me your opinion. And as always, you can follow me on my other social media accounts. I have an Instagram, a Twitter, a Snapchat, and a Facebook page as well. I'd really appreciate it if you would like and follow those too. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.